In this video, I want to talk about and share with you guys a few thoughts about current events. I mean, things that are happening, of course, and we as human beings in our society, how we interact and how we interconnect to one another in a way in which uh, we have set the rules and behaviors that are very contrary to the way as a human and as we should be, interconnected to one another, we should be treating each other. Of course, I disagree with the title that I put. I have the title of this video. I have, put, I wrote, uh, as long as it's not me, which is the idea of in our society as we go, in our daily activities and in our own routines in life, whether this is work, whether this is uh, going to school activities, church, our social interaction with others, in family members, clubs. I mean, all kinds of activities in which, as a human, I mean, as a person, we interact to one another. And for instance, I brought in this occasion, I brought up the issue of what's going on with YouTubers in the Philippines. Sly Kane, of course, it is the Vitaly's cameraman and YouTuber Vitaly, which I have done a couple of videos about, what his situation is all about going on. Well, they're both in jail right now. We're talking about this YouTuber, Russian American YouTuber Vitaly, that was he's spending jail time or waiting for trial, and Sly King, his cameraman, that was recently, like 4 or 5 days ago, he was uh, detained and of course brought up to the detention center. He's a Filipino national, but in the same situation, and of course having these two characters, I would say these two personalities in a way, because they have been in the spotlight, for some time, especially Vitali has been in the spotlight for like over 15 years. And he was very well known. His camera was not very well known, but he does some streaming too. He has his own channel. He had, well, still has it, but he's been streaming, and well, because he's one of the accomplices of what Vitali was doing, for which he was caught. Of course, these pranks in the street of the Philippines, this violation of the Filipino code of of conduct, basically. So basically, they share the same accusations very much. They say the same charges, both the cameraman, Sly Kane and Vitali, very much the same, with lesser, of course, with lesser charges for the cameraman. But they both, share the same, basically, charges from the Filipino government, and they are both detained in a detention center now. And but the point I'm trying to make here is, and I'm going to convey to you, just let me know what you think about this. I mean, all the in the YouTubing community, the YouTuber community, people have been, different YouTubers has been posting, um, and they have the right. We all have the right to, of course. Once we come to YouTube to opening a channel, we all are on the public spotlight. I mean, myself too. People can use and make contents about me because I'm on the public square now. So in this case, that's a valid, issue of making contents about these two YouTubers, Vitali and Sly Kane, the cameraman. But what we have seen the last couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks now, is that well, all these headlines saying, one of the headlines says 24 years, at least minimum 24 years in jail for Vitali. Another one says, well, Vitali. Another headline says, another title, and they went viral. All this title, all this posting has been going viral, basically. 100,000 views, 200,000 views. The other one that says Vitali is not gonna survive, says. One other says Vitali is not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. He says. The other one says is it's very unlikely that he will, ever get out of jail, like making him believe that living in jail is like not everybody survives, meaning that he can be, whatever, he's at risk basically, because all he's going to be with all kinds of criminals, all kinds of gang members, very much once he's convicted, of course, but he hasn't been even convicted, and preemptively all the posting are saying that, that like preventively they're saying what's going to happen to him once he's, now that he's in jail, now that he was transferred to a maximum security facility, that it may, it might not survive, that of course, we know that there is dangers of being in jail, in any jail, not just the Filipino jail, but any day jail. You spend time, and who knows, I mean, you might not get out, you might survive. I mean, if you're a person of faith, you have a good chance of surviving if you give your, life to Jesus, and have a good relationship with inmates, good teaching. If you're teaching inmates, if you have a good, and don't get me wrong. I mean, there are some bad apples. I mean, some people are not even. It's hard to rescue everyone in jail. It's hard to rescue everyone on the street. I mean, eh, so it's of course the risk is a high risky situation being in jail. Of course, I'm just mentioning these two guys, but of course I feel for the victim too. It seems that we don't mention the victims that much. The victims were those people who were victims of the pranks in the first place. That's how the whole thing originated anyway. But the idea here, if that's what conveying in these videos, is the idea, of course, as long as it's not me, meaning, that I'm going to be spending time in jail, as long as it's not my family is going to suffer, that's very much, why not? I mean, it's like I'm just doing the things that I'm doing. I'm doing my routine videos. I'm just doing it's like that's what the thinking is on the street of the Philippines. In the streets or anywhere, YouTubers, doing filming videos and still doing pranks, and one of the charges facing these two YouTubers is that it's a violation. It says in the Filipino code that it's a violation to film anybody without their consent, even a passerby, even somebody who's passing by. Let's say you're filming on the street and you're even recording on your own, but somebody's passing by and accidentally the camera is getting that frame, of course, that link, that video, uh, or people walking by across the street, or people sitting at a restaurant. Even that's even more of a violation if you film somebody inside a private property. So even in public, right? Public square. I mean, public is public, right? I have the right to film in public, but the other person also has the right not to be filmed and not to be, to appear in any video. That even if it's not a prank, just a regular filming, right? You're filming at a coffee shop outside. I mean, is without their consent, of course. People just walking by, right? Just like they do in Angeles City. So you have thousands of people walk every night, especially Friday nights, and those guys, YouTubers are filming there in public, and without the consent of all those people walking by, some of them crossing the line, crossing the street, some of them even with the beer in their hands. I mean, and some other people holding girls, I mean, women's hands. I mean, they're couples that we don't know if they're their girlfriend, if they're wives. I mean, if they're sweetheart. I mean, if they're lovers. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's people have the right to have their privacy, even at a public spare in a public place. So the idea that, well, as long as that's the topic of this video, that as long as not me, that selfish idea that we all develop through life. I mean, we're all born as an when we were born as a baby. I mean, as a newborn, we are in blank, very innocent. I mean, with nothing in our nothing in our minds, nothing in our heart, nothing bad really. But as we, of course, grow in life, society, the environment is basically shaping us up. shaping us how we have to deal with one another, how we interconnect with one another. So the selfish idea in Western society, mostly in Western societies, but it could be in any society in which, of course, as long as it's not me, it's like I don't care. Like people don't care that what happens to the next the neighbor, what happens to the next guy, what happens to the next person. There, it's like if I have a job, as long as everybody's get fired, but I'm not me. Oh, I did survive. So it's the idea of not having any thoughts or feeling or have a common goal, common purpose in life. I mean, we have lost that. We have been that in society, in our society, in a modern society, 2025. This is May 6th today. I mean, we see it every day. I mean, I see it every day. Believe me, I see it every day on the street. I see it every day in my even family members, in society, and even people who call friends. I mean, that as long as it's not them, it's not as long as it's not me that I'm losing the job, right? For instance, as long as not me that I'm getting deported, for instance, and people get many people are destroying has been their lives has been destroyed because of the separation of families in different countries. I'm not talking about particular country, but always people think that, oh, as long as it's not me, them, it's okay. I mean, uh, the same thing when remember COVID, the 19, those days in which people were in line to get like a paper towels, empty shelves, people fighting, for empty for couple bags of paper towels on the supermarket. Remember those videos? That was only 4 or 5 years ago. But we tend to forget very quick. That was just 4 or 5 years ago, right? COVID-19. Actually, 6 years ago. Now that I'm thinking clearly. So only 6 years ago, people, fought. I mean, for paper, paper towels, for toilet papers. Think about that. Uh, that's the greediness. I mean, that we all like developing in some way. That, but more, other one, some people more than others. So this is just a reminder. This is just I'm just sharing thoughts, guys, today about how our society come about to be, how we got here, where we are at this moment. Like if you think about, I'm just mentioning one example of COVID-19, right? Everybody was getting, you know, to get as fast as possible to the supermarket, to get as much as possible. There was one guy who bought like $10,000 in that was in New York State, $10,000 in toilet papers and paper towels. It just left the shelves empty, the shelf of that supermarket, and there was like 100 people in line to get at least couple of at least 2 or 3 bags or diapers for their babies. But the first who get there just because that's the greediness. I mean, that's of course he had the money to buy. If you if we think about that, of course it's a free society, right? It's a free country. People that's always say that. Oh, it's a free country. You can buy anything you want as much as you want, of course, as long as you have the money. So that's a way of thinking is as long as it's not me, it's the other one who's gonna suffer because of lack of food, lack of uh, like I said before, like paper towels, toilet paper, the basic necessities that I just saw reports a couple of days ago in which is, in the United States some shelves are getting empty. I mean, emptying. Some supermarkets they have they're short in groceries already. In some places, not every place, but in some places, with all this tariff and the trade war with China, it may happen. Many things are gonna be you're gonna see not gonna see it. So some people is gonna get not even lines. Are gonna people rush 4 in the morning to be the first in line in this case, and buy just because they have the credit cards and but and the money in cash. They're gonna empty the shelf just so they can store in their own homes, even like it happened to that guy who bought 10,000 toilet paper. He didn't use them. He didn't use them. So now, after using them like 200 worth of paper towels and toilet papers, now he was trying to sell it because he stored, he filled up his house things that he didn't even use. That's greediness. That's a poison in our society. The idea of that. Oh, as long as it's not me, I mean, even in emergency situation, like remember the earthquake just a month and a half ago in Myanmar and Bangkok, Thailand, right? Nobody thought that was gonna happen. The broad daylight before noon, the huge earthquake that 7.5, 7.7 actually, it hit Bangkok, Thailand. Thousands of people died. I mean, thousands of people like was running for their life, from getting out of those high-rise buildings, apartment buildings, and running for their lives, and they did survive. Hopefully, they have learned a lesson about being more mindful about other people and needs and care. And of course, just 2 days ago, Myanmar too, the country of Myanmar, thousands of people, pass away, die. I mean, life is so short. I mean, things can happen. An emergency situation can happen any moment. And I was thinking, in my latest video, I was mentioning the 3 days ago only. There was a huge earthquake in Alaska. Alaska was there's not too much population, of course, in Alaska. Apparently, nobody, really got killed because the earthquake was way, way deep in the mountains. This is a snow covering state, very much. It's cold. Alaska is very much like the size of Brazil. I mean, not that much, but almost close. And with less than a million people, people very lives in villages, in small fishing towns, and basically unless there's a huge tsunami or typhoon, they can be a high risk. But this is the moment that we should make a pause and think about what the idea of is not that I disagree is not it shouldn't be that way that we should that thought of it as long as not it's not me that we should be refusing that kind of thought. We should be being more mindful, being more kind to one another, of course. And um, in Chile there was an earthquake too the same day with Alaska got hit with 7.3 and Chile was getting 7.5, just close to what happened in Bangkok, in Thailand and Myanmar. But now uh, there there has been on the books, there has been studies, serious studies from different Ivy League college and university in the United States, in which they have there is a they are forecasting a huge earthquake, a big one, the big one, that's what they call the big one, which is going to be like 9.5, 9.5 with the Richter scale, on the Richter scale. So when a situation, when something like this happens, it's going to be millions of people. I mean, it's going to be, who knows? I mean, millions of people at risk, and millions of people could die. Could. I'm not saying, I'm not like forecasting, and this channel is not about being negative. This channel is about being positive. But at the same time, I'm trying to be positive. I'm just, mindful of my surroundings. I'm just cautioning people. I mean, cautioning you guys. I mean, if you're still listening, if you came this far in this video, it's good to, to be preventive. I mean, to be resourceful, to have wisdom, and to be, just not to be scared every day, right? Not to lose your sleep about this. But things are happening. Like just last month, the Myanmar, Bangkok, Thailand. Then just 3 days ago, in Alaska, 7.5 on the Richter scale, and 7.3, I'm sorry, and 7.5 in Chile, the country of Chile, just way in South America. So in Central America, we are really high risk because we know that it's going to happen. I mean, there has been earthquakes in Nicaragua and Costa Rica, but smaller, but the big one is expected in 9.5. And I was, telling on this video, but be resourceful. I mean, if you guys save like things like this, I mean, remember that in a situation like this, everything's gonna be out of, the power grid, everything, lightning, the internet, everything's gonna go out. I mean, even the supply of water. Where are you gonna get water, guys? I mean, you gotta have water for 2 or 3 days, but things are gonna be scarce in 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and many bridges are gonna collapse with 9.5 earthquake. So the supply chain is going to be interrupted. So a lamp like this, I'm not advertising for this company whatever, but a little lamp like this that you can it's a battery lamp. It's not connected with of course with the electric system that can help you to have light. I mean, even matches, like little bags of matches like this, which doesn't seem that much. I mean, this is what is it? Just almost nothing, right? But how are you gonna get light? There's no electricity. There's gonna be no electricity for days, for months. Who knows? Like I say, everything destroyed. But little, the all-time like matches like this will help you burn, and will help you like have, if you have a firewood, a stock of firewood. Not just during the winter time. People gather firewood during the winter time for the chimney, right? But in a situation where there is a huge earthquake like that, or any emergency tsunami, typhoon like that, I mean, it's good to have store like firewoods, a flashlight like this, that which you need the light. I mean, just with that that is very resourceful. I mean, they're very handy. have a good set of batteries. I mean, good set of different size of battery, because you're not gonna need light. I mean, everything's gonna go dark. Internet's not gonna work. Forget about the online, everything on that's gonna go dead. Everything. So just like in the old time, AM little radios. Remember the radio? Most people don't know about what I'm talking about here, but there used to be AM radios like Philip. I'm not advertising any brand, but I just came to my mind like Philips AM radios, in which that which people use to have to listen to news. Like everything is going to be out. Internet is going to be out. Wi-Fi. Well, forget about Wi-Fi. Everything is going to be in a situation, extreme situation like that, and it could happen because it's already happened. This is not like to scare you off, guys. I mean, like I said, this channel is a positive channel, but every once in a while, I just want to share my thoughts with you guys about what's going on, and I feel responsible. I mean, many thanks for viewers and thanks for subscribers that rely on for me to for be able to be able to share things like that. And today I didn't have the chance, but in my patio I have in my front yard I just planted like a month and a half ago, and I showed one of my videos in which I planted like a banana, like a green green beans and things like that. It's not that much. It's very small. It's just a couple of them that I planted there. But this just so testing what I did call at that time my 33% rule, using compost soil, black soil, of course, and peat moss. And I had in 5-6 weeks. I'm gonna take my camera if you don't mind, and if you came this far in my video, just to show you how it came about, and I'll close with that. And if you stay with me, please, I'll just have a little walk outside, and just to show you just how everything went with the planting that I did that was like 6 weeks ago. And if you see my videos, that's what it is. That's what it happened. That's how it's going. I'm going here to the little, this is the patio. This is the front yard. And on that occasion, guys, I have planted this banana tree. If you recall, I mean, if you see my video, right? And of course, this was on the root. This this banana plant, right, came from this original banana tree. Remember in my video I was showing the original banana tree. This was, of course, not even an inch tall. That was only 6 weeks ago. And look at it now, right? This is the banana tree. And this is going to be in another 5 or 6 months, very much, we're going to have bananas. And then green beans. Remember, I was showing in one of the videos how to grow beans. I have green beans. This has been only 5-6 weeks. 6 weeks ago. You see how green beans. This is a very small area of my yard, on the front yard, and you see how green beans, can grow green beans in this area. Just this is for the purpose of testing, of course, how you can do in your front yard and you have a really vegetable garden. These green beans I planted here 6 weeks ago, and there's ready to eat. These green beans like a vegetable, or if I leave it another 4 weeks more, red beans is going to be red. And of course, this plant, this is one of my favorite vegetable. This in 6 weeks, you see what happens with this plant. This is one of my favorite vegetable, going all the way to the top. You see how it's going all the way to the rooftop, and it's going, and this nice and tasty vegetable I just planted here. And that's what it is, guys. So thanks for watching again, and things like that. I just gave you the example of green beans and banana and other vegetables in this small garden, that in an emergency situation, if you have last year I planted some tomato here, so I ate tomatoes from this same place I just show you here. From here I planted tomatoes, and I ate tomatoes last year, but this year I haven't done it yet. But now it's winter time here, just started this month, May, so hopefully I'll plant some tomatoes and be ready and mindful in any emergency crisis or situation like an earthquake, tsunamis, typhoon, things like that. If you have a bigger yard, of course, you can do the same plant. And so if the supply chain is interrupted, you can eat from there, from your own yard, and survive a few days at least until things get very much to normal, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.